Specifically, these word problems, children, are about separating. 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 Now, if you think about it, if you're reading a problem and it says, there was 30 kids in the class, and 15 of them were girls, and how many were boys? That is a separating problem because you're making two groups out of something. So what type of problem would separating usually be? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Yeah. Yeah, when you come up with something, when you're separating things, usually 9 times out of 10, that is going to be a subtraction problem. Now, remember, I've said this before, just because it's a subtraction pattern problem does not mean that you subtract always to find the answer. Okay, get that in your mind. Just because it's a subtraction pattern problem doesn't mean it's always subtraction. For example, well, let's do this problem first. Bill had $28. Bill had $28. That's a nice thing to have, isn't it? He spent 12. He spent $12. How much did he have left? Okay. And here is the way that you kind of write this. This is the pattern that you use for pretty much these separating problems. You start with sum. In this case, it's some money. And then sum goes away. And then what do you suppose the answer is? What's left, right? Okay. By the way, what do we call the answer to a subtraction problem? Do you remember that? Anybody remember? Layla? Very good. This is what's left, we call it the difference. Okay, so if we use this pattern and plug this part into it, okay, what is the sum, what's the sum that goes away, and what's the left? Which one do we know, which one don't we know? Do you know what? And the sum, by the way, is kind of like the starting point. Do we know how much money they started with?
Yes.
Which is?
$28.
$28. Do we know how much went away?
Yep.
How much?
12.
$12. So we don't know how much is left. That's your pretty much standard subtraction problem, and I'm sure you know how to do subtraction. 2 from 8 is 6, and 1 from 2 is 16, so you get $16. That's how much is left. Okay. That is your basic generic one. But here is one, like I said before, just because it's a subtraction pattern type problem doesn't mean that you'll always subtract to get the answer. Write this problem down. After losing, this sounds like me, after losing 234 pounds, Jumbo, the elephant, weighed 4,368 pounds. Jumbo weighed 368 pounds.
That's a lot. We're a big elephant. That's like
How much did Jumbo weigh before he lost the weight? How much did Jumbo weigh before losing weight? After losing 234 pounds, Jumbo weighed 4,368 pounds. How much did Jumbo weigh before losing weight? So, thinking about this, do we know how much Jumbo started out weighing? No, we don't. So that's where we call the unknown thing. We put the letter there for it. We'll put W. Do we know how much went away? How much he lost? Which is 234 pounds. Do we know how much Jumbo ended up weighing?
Yes.
Which is 4,368 pounds. Now, so the question I have for you, and here's where you have to be very careful. Just because this says subtraction, am I 100% sure that I should subtract those two numbers, or should I add them together? What should be your course of action? Don't tell me the answer. What should you think of next? I'll tell you this 1,000 times between now and 8th grade. What should you do now, Jack?
You should, well,
I think you're thinking too much. If it took that long to answer, what did I tell you? When you have missing numbers in subtraction or in any problem, what are you supposed to do? Don't tell me add or subtract. That's not what I'm looking for. You are supposed to, Abram?
Subtract.
You are supposed to. I still haven't got the answer. Brant?
Find the missing number.
How do I know what to do when I find the missing number? How do I know?
by subtraction.
Oh boy. Here we go. Write this down on your piece of paper, because I'll tell you again. When you have a number with a missing number, when you have a addition subtraction problem with a missing number, you need to think of an easier problem to figure out what to do. That means this. If you're given a missing digit problem, this is a subtraction problem, so I think of any easy subtraction problem. Let's see. Tyler, an easy subtraction problem is what?
10 minus 4.
10 minus 4, and that answer is 6, right? And then you think about, what do I do since I'm missing the top here? If I was missing this 10, the top there, what do I do with 4 and 6 to get 10? Add. And now you know for 100% sure that you're going to take these two and actually add them together to get your top number. It's imperative that you do that. Good old Jumbo the elephant apparently started weighing, the W equals 4,602 big old elephant pounds. By the way, what weighs more, a ton of feathers or a ton of bricks?
They're the same, because they're both a ton.
Oh, look at you. Apparently you've heard the
I
joke.
confused people with that in science class a couple of days ago.
I know you do. You're just confusing all the way around. How about this? One more. Here we go. Write this problem down. 400 runners started the race. But some runners dropped out along the way. They just got too pooped to pant. Some dropped out. If 287 runners finished the race, how many dropped out? Runners started the race. Now, thinking about, you got that written down? Wait a second there. 400 runners started the race. Some dropped out. Wait, I got a little bit more down here. Some dropped out. If 287 finished the race, oops, for those of you that are whining about the size of all this, 400 runners started the race. Some dropped out. 287 finished the race, how many dropped out? So, using the pattern that we had before, where you start with some went away, and then you have what's left. If I plug the numbers in there, where do they go? Do I know how many I started with? Do I know the starting number? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
sir.
started with 400, that's what it says there. Do I know how many runners dropped out? No, because it says some dropped out, so I'll put the letter D there, stands for drop. Do I know how many finished the race or were left at the end?
Yes.
which is 287. Now, let's see if we learned anything today. What is the next step I do here? Oh, look, Mackenzie?
Think of it easier.
Right, think of any subtraction problem that's really easy so you know what to do when you're missing this part of that problem. Let's say it's 6 minus 4 is 2. If I'm missing this middle part like I'm missing that middle part there, what do I do with 6 and 2 to get 4? What do I do with 6 and 2 to get 4? Do I add them together or subtract them?
Add.
6 plus 2 is 8.
Subtract.
Subtract. So I need to here actually take this and take my 400 and subtract 287 from it, which gives me 113 were the ones that dropped out. Okay? It's imperative that you do this because I guarantee you will make a mistake because you say it's a subtraction, so I'm going to subtract, or blah, 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 blah. You have to. You have to. You have to think of those easy problems. Perfect. I feel very good about it.